Alright. Hello there, Pastafarian. It's me, Schizophrenic H. I'm in the studio here. We got the fan on, so let me know if that is way too loud. I've got like knobs here that I can move. Knobs. So if you're like, yo, fan's too loud, let me know. Sunday today. I was working yesterday and the day before down at the mall, passing out our tracts and stuff. We published the stickers there. I'm going to be making a video here to announce it and maybe even promote the video so that we can advertise our merchandise, which is stickers that you can put on things. Some of them are Pastafarian and some of them are not. Hello there, Brian. Welcome to the stream. I'm just going to be playing around with this sort of slime rancher here and talking to people on the Discord, this politics and religion Discord. Usually they sort of talk about stupid shit and then I just sort of get stuck in listening to them, and so I ignore the chat. So I thought I'd wait a minute before I jumped into that one-on-one there, because people pop in pretty quick. I mean, sometimes there's time enough to talk, but sometimes there's not. So I'll just take a minute here to talk to you. Well, I can't really talk to you while I'm looking at that game, so I'll just talk to you, I guess. If you would like to support us, my brand manager says you've got to go to our Bitcoin and our Patreon and our PayPal and our Amazon wishlist and my GoFundMe and my OnlyFans. And, this is the last couple of weeks to get some of those OnlyFans products, so if you really would like to get the very, very good ones, go check that out. We're going to be sending stickers to everyone who donates to us, and so if you're out there on the, if there's a way to send us your email due on that, however you're donating to us, because we really do appreciate all the donations that everyone's given to us over the years and everything. It really does help. I've spent it sort of is my hobby space, and I've spent more on it than I've made. Probably because I've spent more on it kind of guy. Because moron isn't there. That's why I was said that, because it's moron. See, but that just all that means is I'm not a true prophet as far as making money. Bobby Anderson definitely has made money, so he's a true prophet of a flying spaghetti monster. I'm not quite a true prophet yet because of how I've yet to make a profit. And so it's gonna take a while before I really do that. It still is a long way off, I think, because of all the tons of money that I put into it, and time as well. Don't forget that I need to be paid for all these hours, so you motherfuckers owe me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just saying it's gonna take me a long time to be a true prophet. Until then, I'm sort of less than prophet for the flying spaghetti monster. I was sort of out on Friday and Saturday giving away cards and preaching a little bit, though I'm not really sure what to preach about because of how so many people are not preaching out there on the street. And perhaps a raid on the Vatican is in order. I would love to go talk to the Vatican, knock on those doors and be like, hey, I'd really like to set up a debate with you about whether or not the thing that you're promoting is believable or even not evil. I think I could make an argument to the Pope that he's an agent of evil in this world. So I'd love to talk to him about it. If you do have an in with the Pope, please let him know I'm trying to talk to him. He can come on this show, or I could be on his podcast, however he'd like to do it. So, have him send me a message there. Get in touch with my brand manager. Dark Strife Queen is here. Hello there. I hated being dragged to church by my parents. Yes, there is a feeling of a sort of that very thin sort of dress sock and then the very uncomfortable sock over it that I will never ever in my life enjoy. Going to church and preparing for church was never a happy time in my house, and I was not given the option many times. I think I would have, if it was like put to me every day, are you coming with us today or are you staying home? I'd be like, oh well, today I'm staying home, thank you. It definitely is drag to church, and I feel a lot better about my church that I go to because of how I don't drag my kids to it, and it's got nothing to do with them. So I feel really good about Pastafarian church in that sense. The sort of sermon that I'd like to that I'm working on, I suppose, is this sort of herd mentality that people have. They think of themselves as herd humans, and I really think that's bad for the planet. That there's this tragedy of the commons, and it's just true that the herd is going to overgraze. The herd is not going to stop itself. The herd does not think to itself, should I eat this grass, right? It just eats all the grass it can. And so one of the factors in the tragedy of the commons that causes it to be so tragic, though, is that herd thing. If the goats weren't going to eat or the sheep or whatever weren't going to eat all the grass, then it wouldn't matter. It is overgrazing that causes the possibility of overgrazing that causes the tragedy of the commons in the first place, or the sort of nominal explanation of it, or the cliched explanation of it, I guess. And so, yeah, I think that the tragedy of the commons when it comes to this human thing, not to just preach, but the tragedy of the commons is that these non-caring humans are just going to let this world sort of burn itself to pieces and pretend like they weren't complicit. I think this obey mentality, that's even an option, is exactly the problem. There's no one to obey, unfortunately. You have to generate and justify your morality and ethical position. Every person needs to do that, and if a person would rather just obey a book, that's exactly a failed that. It's a failed ethical position. There is nobody to obey. And the herd mentality is going to burn the world. So there we go, there's my sermon. So, sorry about that. What religion... okay, nobody was dragged to Pastafarian church against their will. Brian's wondering what Dark Strife's religion was. Mine, for those that don't know, I was raised Mormon. I try to not tell my interlocutors that usually when I'm talking to them, because then that's what we're talking about, and I very much don't want to. I'm going to talk about contradictions in the Bible and things like that. I was raised Mormon, and so we were very fastidious. We got there practically every week. In Mormonism, if you missed a week, the week after that they'll be asking you why. Like, it really was like, what? Where were you? So, every week is the thing. And then also, after a certain age, there is the sort of young women's activity in the middle of the week to be involved in. And then in high school, there is seminary. So, there is a lot of going to church that Mormons do. And all of it is forced. Very rarely was the option given. It was like, let me drive you to church. Here, I'm going to drive you to church, instead of, do you want me to drive you to church? So, yeah. If anybody is dragged to a Pastafarian church against their will, I think I have an out for them as the preacher. Like, if you're brought to my sermon or something like that against your will, please do speak up, and I'll talk about how that's unethical and shouldn't be done. Absolutely, no one ought to be dragged to Pastafarian church at all. And in fact, no kids. Don't forget that's one of the major important rules of or sort of dogmas of Pastafarianism is we're not talking to kids here. This is an adult sort of game. So dragging kids to church against their will, quite poorly effective at keeping them believers. When Jesus said, "You must eat my flesh and drink my blood," I thought, "Ew, that's gross." And that's why I play zombie shooting games. I was raised Catholic, and I'm digging going to a Pastafarian church. Yeah, well, good. We're glad. I enjoy it as well. Like the things that I found to be toxic or unbelievable in the Mormon church, I just sort of jettison those ideas and bring them to the Pastafarian church, and everything's welcome here. That's one of the problems. I've been talking to these precepts a lot, and one of their problems is that they cannot see who the creator is. They're like, either my God has all the truth statements and no other God has that, and it's like, no, my God by definition does, because my God is the one that created all the true things. So if anything's true in your church, it is also part of my church or in your belief system. So yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, my mind is being drawn to these precepts that we're sure to bump into when we get into this channel here. I'm not saying you guys in the chat need to talk to me, so what do you want to talk about? But I am saying when I start talking to somebody, I'm going to not really be... it really takes all of my not concentration or effort, but my train of thought, I suppose. I very rarely read chat after that. So, if you want me to answer a question or anything, I'm not saying give me the questions, but the time where I can read them is quickly ending. Let me blow my nose here, and then I'll drop in this one-on-one chat, and then we'll get these people to ask us questions about our belief, hopefully. So I'm in the chat here, and I'm unmuted, and I'm pushed to talk. Yeah, so I've got to push this to talk to these people. So now I'm sitting there. My name in this channel is Jesus Lied, to sort of get a starting off point for a conversation, but if people want to come in and have a different one, I'm totally fine with that. We talk about you behind your back. I do appreciate that. Instead of sort of trying to not talk to me because I am otherwise engaged. You don't have to do that. Please do use the chat to its fullest chat abilities, because of how this is what it's for, I think. So don't not talk because I'm not listening. But while we wait, let's look at this game. This game is about slimes. So look at all these slimes. See them? So I eat them like this. See? I eat them into my... Hey, bones. Oh, hold on, guys. So Joe is here. She has returned, and Bones has been very, very bad. He never waits. He just always runs out. So let's get. We got to do the tutorial, I suppose. Hey there, Joe. How have you been?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. We were just sort of talking shit about some shit. And then I just popped into the channel here to talk to some people. But if you're like, fuck that noise, let's do something else today, okay. And if you're like, no, I have other things to do, you gotta stop the stream. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I just sort of was like just popping out here because I was bored. So, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do Slime Ranch. Hopefully someone will pop into this one-on-one, talk to us about the stupid shit they believe and why they believe stupid shit. Maybe we can cause them to not believe stupid things anymore and only believe well-reasoned things. You know, like we Pastafarians do. Hopefully we'll find someone with an open mind, such that we can help them come to truth. Also, we've got two guests in our chat here, Dark Strong Queen and Brian Printy. They're talking about me behind my back because they know that I'm quite distracted and that I won't check the chat. I'm ditching my Bible for a pirate ship of Pastafarians. Yeah, I think I have my Bible over here that I've had for a number of years. I had it when I was a youth. When I was a Mormon missionary, this is the Bible that I had. And you know, I still have it. I just don't read it. It is nonsense now. Instead of helpful. Like I don't really picture myself going to it for comfort or answers or anything at all. Really, it really is just straight up crazy. Before the guests show up, we can also talk about like shit I've seen on Netflix because of that's a thing that they used to do in the radio show. Shit on Netflix. Oh, bye Joe. She's got to go do real life stuff. Do you want to? We can sloop around if you want to do that instead of this. Oh, you're chorsy? Alright, see you after your chores are done. You want to bring this dick with you? This bastard? Hey, Bones, go with her. Bye, Bones. There we go. I got rid of Bones there. That's nice. He won't be bothering us anymore. So first of all, I guess we're talking about all these slimes and stuff. So I got the stuff off the screen, and that's nice because that's the worst stuff, is the stuff on the screen. And now they'll just let us do whatever. There is more stuff on the screen. So I guess not. I did this already though, right? I already did this. So will it go away now, please? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's this thing over here. Okay, that covers the basics. So now we're past the basics. Go away then. So we can put these slimes in here, and here are our slimes, and they live here now, and we can feed them carrots. Here's some carrots for you, slimes. And over here we can activate this, and we can make it a garden, and we can put pogo fruits in the garden. It's growing pogo fruits, so that's nice. This chicken wants something, probably like a carrot. Chickens eat carrots, right? I think so. I think they love carrots. Here's more pogo fruits for you guys. Look at all of these. Eat them. Yeah, so this is where we ranch our slimers, and that's where they live and stuff. Oh, how much? What? Everything costs money here for some reason. 10,000 monies. Fuck that. It's fucking stupid. Did you guys have giant Bibles too? I don't think quite big enough to sail around the world in, or the bay rather. It was pretty big though. You know, a couple inches. It was that Mormon Bible with the. It's got the King James in it, and it's also got like the Book of Mormon and like all the Mormon parts as well, the Doctrine and Covenants, which is unnecessarily humongous. So that was all in there. not big enough to sail around the bay, but definitely big enough to hold the papers, a good paperweight. And then a lot of it is colored in. Like it's funny to go to the some of those parts of it, and the entire page is like filled in, like colored in, because the whole of it is important. I think that's very funny. So I don't know how bumping this channel is at what times, but it seemed pretty good. I mean, people keep popping in on those other days, but it is the weekend. I have a Book of Mormon. It was free. Any suggested reading? No. Not really. It's a big old mess, and I don't really know what I'd want to point out on the way. There's maybe some interesting parts of it, like some stories of like some encoded stories. Some of the things that he was saying were like, listen to the story, and it was just a retelling of other stuff. So you can oops, that's not what I meant. I meant to grab this guy. If you want to like read the, I don't know. It's all a fucking mess. The witness of the people who saw the plates is interesting. It's a mess. If you wanna understand the story of it, maybe second Nephi, because that's when they that's like the defining part of it, when they sort of come to the New World and separate, and I think it starts right into Nephi, maybe. But maybe some contradictions or some weird things. At the end of Jacob, the last word of Jacob is a Jew, and that's really weird. So that might be something worth reading. Jacob's the third book in it, I think. There's this book of Ether that's got very it's got like action in it, like it's civilizations growing and declining. So it's this it's very epic. It's concentrated epicness. So that might be the most interesting part. And that might be one of the most interesting parts. Alma has a lot of war in it, if you like to talk about war, and it's sort of like it's not exactly a retelling of the American Revolution.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, here's somebody. Hello there.
So, your name is kind of interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, just to be clear about sort of my position, so that people know what the conversation's going to be when they join me in a room.
All right. So, what do you mean Jesus lied? I'm curious.
I mean that generally, if we can agree that Jesus told an untruth, that is good enough evidence to disprove the Christian worldview. Is sort of what I'm going with that.
So, if Jesus told an untruth we both would agree is a lie.
Yeah, I think that if that's true, if I can convince you that Jesus told an untruth, I think we both can agree is untrue. That
right.
Then should cause a person to be disaffected of the Christian worldview.
All right. Well, so what are the lies or the lie?
Well, in Mark 4, he specifically shows a pattern of lying. Oh, my apologies. Please pardon me.
No, it's fine.
I have just spilled a lot of soda pop on the controller here, Pastafarians. This is most incredibly embarrassing.
You still there?
Yeah, pardon me. I have spilled soda all over my pants, so just allow me a couple moments to handle this, and then I'll be right with you. I'm super embarrassed. So, yeah, the idea is that seems like a reasonable way to disprove Christianity is by pointing out a lie. So, I was saying in Mark 4, he sets up a pattern of telling untruth to the general population, and then explaining what he meant in private. And so that, I think, is a lie. I think that counts.
Wait, what's the lie?
Speaking in parables, he says the reason he speaks in parables is to withhold information from the people who are not his disciples.
He said speaking in parables is to withhold information from his disciples.
From people who are not his disciples.
Where's that at?
Mark 4. Mark 4:12
Which
and
verse?
34. Both of those sort of make it clear that he has a dichotomy of actions. He treats two groups differently.
Mark 4:12.
Mark 4:12 and also Mark 4:34 says it sort of as well.
Okay, well, Mark 4:12 doesn't state that he lies to people who aren't his disciples. Is that the right verse?
Yeah, and I think it does, and so what we have to do now is come to an agreement about what a lie would be, because I think you're not seeing a lie where I do see one.
Okay, so Mark 4:12. Let's do this. Okay, so Mark 4:12, New International Version, NIV, says they may be ever seeing but never perceiving, and ever hearing but never understanding. Otherwise, they might turn and be forgiven. So what does that mean to you?
It means that he's talking to the people who are not his disciples in parables so that they can hear him but not understand him. What does it mean to you?
I don't know. I was asking. Like, I'm curious. Like,
so that's what it means to me. That he's talking to people in public in a way that they cannot understand him, and then in private he sort of explains it more clearly.
So to people who aren't his disciples, he's a little bit more complicated, as opposed to the general.
Obfuscating. He withholds truth from them. He causes them to hear something that isn't quite enough to understand him. And that feels like a lie to me, and it doesn't have to feel like a lie to you, but if it doesn't, I'd like to know, what would a lie be from your point of view? What would it look like if Jesus lied? How could we tell?
I mean, I think we both would agree that, like, a lie is when you tell an untruth.
Right, and I think he's expressly saying that in Mark 4, that the reason
he's
he
saying
talks in
that
parables is to withhold truth.
To the general people, so that they grasp it better.
Not better, not better.
Yeah.
Where does it say better?
Well, I mean, that's why he literally talks in parables, right?
No, that's not right. That's not what he's saying right there. He's
Does he
explaining
like storytelling?
Say again?
Does he like to storytell?
Yes, but why?
Because people, general people, grasp onto things easier in parables.
I don't think that's what he's saying there in Mark 4:12. I think he's saying the opposite of that.
I think when I read it, it's literally just saying that he speaks in two different ways. One's more complicated, the other one's in parables, so it's easier for general people to understand as opposed to his disciples.
Did the disciples understand him when he spoke in the parables?
No, they didn't.
So your claim that it's easier to understand in parables doesn't really make much sense, because the public didn't understand him and neither did his disciples understand him. It wasn't easier to understand. It was easier to understand when he came into in the private space and explained to the disciples that the sower sows the word. I think without that statement, the parable is impossible to understand. It's encoded, sort of.
Alright, I'm back. I was not bored of you.
Oh, okay. I didn't even... Yeah. So I think he's explaining encoding such that it cannot be understood. You're saying he's using parables to illuminate the idea, and I think he's very specifically saying the opposite.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. Jesus talked to people in two ways. One of them was through parable, and then in private he explained the parable. Do you agree that he behaved differently in public and private?
I don't know.
So in John 4, or Mark 4, pardon me, he sets this sort of pattern of speaking in parables in public and then explaining the parables to his disciples in private. In Mark 4:34, it sort of says that explicitly.
I mean, I don't really get your stance.
My stance is... Okay, my stance is Jesus spoke in parables.
Yes.
And sometimes he explained those parables.
Right.
And all the times he explained those parables, he was in private, and he never did explain those parables in public. Is that right?
I have no idea. But let's say it's true for the sake of the
argument. No. In John 4:34, it says explicitly that that's true. Mark 4:34. Mark 4:34. It says explicitly that he went about speaking in parables, and in parables, in not parables, he never spoke. It says that explicitly. And it also says that in private he explained it to his disciples. So it sets up this pattern of behavior. And then also, if you already haven't seen a lie by this point, which I do, I believe there's a lie there, two ways of explaining something. One of them is obfuscating it. Feels like a lie to me. But if that's not enough for you, then when he's tried in John 18:20, he says explicitly that he doesn't do this. This pattern of talking one way in public and talking another way in private, he says to the high priest, he says, go ask around, everything I've said in open, and nothing I have said in secret. And I think that directly contradicts Mark 4:34.
Wait, which verse? John what?
John 18:20.
Okay, you said this is him saying that he doesn't speak in other ways.
Yeah, to the high priest is asking him what his gospel is, and his answer is, go ask around, I've spoken my gospel openly in public, and in secret I have said nothing.
18:20?
Yeah, John 18:20.
Are you sure?
No.
Hold on. I've spoken openly to the world. Jesus replied, I always taught in synagogues or at the temple, where all the Jews come together. I said nothing in secret. Why question me?
There we go.
Ask those who heard me. Surely they know what I said.
So there, he said, I have said nothing in secret, and Mark 4:34 contradicts that. So right there, the person Jesus is lying to the high priest.
So let's go back to Mark. You said Mark what?
Mark 4:34. The whole idea is speaking in parables in public and then explaining the parables in private.
3:34?
4:34.
My bad.
No worries.
He did not say anything to them without using a parable. But when he was alone with his own disciples, he explained everything.
So that sounds like a direct contradiction to what he said to the thing. When he was alone with his disciples, he explained. That's what I'm hearing there. And when
he told nothing in secret.
Right. And then he did. When he was alone with his disciples. But
then he said, go ask anybody who's ever heard me speak.
Right.
And so he's spoken to his disciples.
Right. So no. He didn't say, go talk to my 12 disciples. He said, anyone who's ever heard me speak.
And so those people, and his disciples have heard him speak.
Right. But he's not saying ask the 12. And at this point, one of the 12 is dead or is not a disciple anymore, and another 12 is denying him, and he knows that. So he's not saying, go ask. So he's talking to the high priest, and he's not saying, ask the people who lived with me what I said in secret.
No, he said ask everyone who has heard me.
Because everything I said openly. So anyone who's heard me would know my gospel. But Mark 4 explicitly says that when he was
explaining his parables in great depth.
Yeah, and he explained his parables in great depth in secret when he was alone with his disciples. John,
how are you alone with your disciples?
That's it. When he was they're setting up this dichotomy of talk, that in public he would talk one way, and when he was alone with his disciples, he would talk another way.
Yeah, he broke it down for the general so that they could understand it, quote unquote parables.
Right,
and then when he
because
was with his
nobody could
disciples, who
understand
were
the
more read up.
parables.
Right, I mean, when he was more read up, he would speak. That's like how you speak with anybody, right? If you speak with someone on a informed subject you both share, you don't have to talk to them like they're 5. I don't understand what the contradiction is. I'm a little
really, you don't understand my argument? I'll start my argument completely over if you don't understand.
Okay, look, this is what it sounds like you're saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying because Jesus spoke to the general in parables, that is a different form of speaking. Therefore, when he went to his disciples and explained basically what he said to the general, except he didn't use parables, he just said it in a way that they would get, because the general couldn't, because they weren't as informed or as well read or whatever. Well,
no,
I don't
that
think they were
cause
read
there. Why did you add that cause? Like, you don't know why the people didn't understand, and in fact,
majority of people back then were not. Majority of people back then weren't like scholars. They didn't know Jesus as the Son of God. That's why, I think it's in Acts. I might be wrong, but he's literally fleeing the Pharisees who are trying to execute him.
So, Jesus spoke differently in public and in private.
Yeah, he spoke differently to depending on the group of people he was around. So,
Cool.
if you're around a bunch of college students, you're going to speak differently as opposed to if you're around a bunch of kids.
And there are some things that he never said in public.
No, he said you can ask all those who have heard me
Right,
speak.
and that was a lie. I'm trying to prove that that's a lie.
How is that a lie?
Because of the way that he had a different way of speaking in public and private.
Just because you have a different way of speaking doesn't mean that you never said it.
If I later say I did not have a different way of speaking in public and private,
No, he said he
that
didn't
would
talk
be a
in
lie.
secret.
He did. It says in Mark 4:34, he literally did. No, he didn't reiterate. He explained.
Yeah, that's the same
not
thing.
reiterate. No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not. So the part where he says,
You're really trying to find a contradiction, man. But I'm telling you, if you read this slowly,
I've got tons of contradictions. I'm trying to find a contradiction I can communicate to you, and this one is really easy.
Okay, well, you just proved my point.
No,
because now you're saying it's the way. Now it's the way that you're communicating it, right? The way that you've been communicating this whole time. Keep this in mind. The way you've been communicating it this whole time, it's been very complicated, right? No. And I've had you break it down in a way so that I could understand.
Yeah, I'm trying to, and you refuse.
That is. Wait. By that being said, you're just pulling what Jesus pulled, so therefore you lied.
I'm not saying I'm not lying. I'm saying.
But you're not lying. You're reiterating. You just proved my point. You literally just reiterated your point. No. I am. You've reiterated your point to get your message across. Your point is that Jesus lied in Mark and
Jesus
in John.
lied in a lot of places, yeah.
Right. Okay, regardless. Let's stay on topic, right? I had you reiterate your message because I, quote-unquote, didn't get it. But by you reiterating your message, by your own standard that you're applying to Jesus, you're saying that he lied by the way that you're reiterating things. Because you spoke it differently to me. It was the same thing. It was just different. It wasn't in a parable. It was just communicated more slowly. By that logic, you lied, according to your own logic.
So, no, I'm saying in Mark 4, there's a very specific reason that he uses parables, and you are not understanding what he's saying there. Because
and we're
you
in
don't
secret.
Want it to be the
we're
reason.
Literally one-on-one.
No,
right?
we're not one-on-one. I'm streaming publicly. And this is a public Discord. This is not in secret. And you're not my disciple.
Right, okay, but that's like saying you're not my student, right? Like a teacher in a classroom isn't necessarily in secret. Right?
In a private room it is. That's
why Jesus literally says, well, okay, right, we'll go with that. But for the sake of the argument, that's why Jesus says you can ask anyone I've talked to.
But
He's
that's not true.
Before.
But that's my point.
I quoted it in the verse you provided me.
Did everyone he talked to understand his doctrine?
No.
Then why would that be an
Which
okay
is
answer?
why
his doctrine?
He talked in parables.
No, that is not why he talked in parables. Why do you think that's why he talked in parables? Why do you think that?
Why did Jesus talk in parables?
He gives the answer to that in Mark 4:12. It's the first verse.
Because people grasp it easier. That's why.
No, that's not what it says in Mark 4:12. Why is that your answer? And what verse do you use to justify that? Where in your Bible does it say that Jesus used parables so that people could grasp it easier? We're given a reason. Like, he talks about it. He says, this is what the disciples ask him why he talks in parables, and he answers the question. Do you agree?
Jesus used parables in order to attract listeners and audiences.
Why do you believe this? What verse causes you to think that this is the reason?
Well, it's throughout the whole entire New Testament, and it literally says, in the New Testament, 55 parables are included in Luke, Mark, Matthew. Jesus used parables extensively in his 3-year teaching ministry. When asked by the disciples why he used parables, Jesus said that he would fulfill the words of the prophet. He's talking about Isaiah, by the way. And revealed the mysteries from the foundation of the world.
No, that is not a good understanding of what Isaiah was talking about when he said, so they can be hearing, yet not understanding. You are misrepresenting that verse.
It wasn't a good understanding? I'm curious. What do you mean?
The reason that he talked in parables is so that they could be ever hearing and not understanding. Is that correct?
So that they could hear what he's saying
and
but not understand it?
That's the answer that he gives. When asked, that's the answer he gives. So that they could be ever hearing and never perceiving. Does that sound like so it's easier for them to understand? Because that's not what that sounds like to me.
It just sounds like you don't understand, like, the context of Mark.
It sounds like you don't understand Mark 4:12. When I ask, why did Jesus talk in parables, you give the wrong answer. But then also, it doesn't matter, because in Mark 4, it sets up this pattern of talking one way in public and a different way in private, and he specifically says to the high priest he didn't do that.
It says the quote Jesus gives is a paraphrase of Isaiah 6:9-10. The context is that Isaiah should continue to preach.
Even though they won't understand.
Right.
Right. So you're saying it's so they understand, but both in Isaiah and here in the New Testament, the people he's talking to in parables never understand. It takes the explanation that he gives in private to his disciples for anyone to understand. And those explanations are given not in the temple and not in a synagogue, like he claims they were to the high priest. Do you understand my argument?
I'm reading a lot of stuff, so if I don't answer you, it is
right. But do you see the argument as I've laid it out that Jesus is lying if he's lying to the high priest?
What it sounds like is you're saying that Jesus used parables as like jargon so that the general public would not understand what he was trying to say.
That's what he says. That's what he
says. If that's the case, right? Then why wouldn't he want the general public to understand what he's saying rather than not understand what he's saying?
That's right. Why would he want that?
Right.
Right. So why doesn't he give them the explanation? Why doesn't he give the explanation in public?
Doesn't give the explanation of what?
Of his parables. Why doesn't he explain his parables in public? The explanation is required to understand them. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would assume so.
So why does he never give it to the people in public? Why does he wait till he's alone with his disciples to give the explanation?
So what are you like getting at? Because
I'm saying
getting alone with the disciples isn't unusual.
It's not unusual. He did it all the time. What I'm getting at is he had a different way of talking in public than he did in private, and he claimed that that's not true when he was talking to the high priest. So Jesus lied to the high priest. Do you understand?
So what was the lie that he told to the high priest?
He said, everything I've said in public, and in secret I have said nothing. That's not true. Based on his behavior here in Mark 4. And it directly contradicts Mark 4:34, which says the exact opposite of what he's saying.
I'm so confused what you're talking about.
No, I think you're resistant to the thing that I'm saying. It's not confusing. You're just resistant to it being true, which is fine.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you.
It threatens your worldview.
Okay, it doesn't threaten my worldview.
It would. If the thing that I said is true, it would threaten your worldview. Is that correct?
If it was true?
Yes.
Yes, it would prove.
So you have an emotional investment in it not being true. Is that correct?
The thing. Okay, look. The thing is you're really caught up on this verse, right?
I'm trying to prove to you that
wait. The thing is, if I did my research, right? Like, if I gave a fuck about apologetics, and I just... Because I already found a website that rebuttals you, and I'm not going to read the whole fucking thing, because you're going to forget about me within, like, the next 20 minutes, etc. And it's not really worth it, right? Because there's rebuttals to everything.
Right.
Like,
not right. You asked me
true.
right, and the answer is no. But continue.
Well, it is true. Like, I don't remember over 90% of all the fucking, I guess, apologetic arguments that I had when I was 17. And I kind of got bored of it. But I've already found, like, websites that are pretty credible that I used to use for my own. Like, I don't use, like, the mainstream shit. I use, like, I use, like, a lot of scholar shits, like .govs. And there are some sources that I use, like, common scholars, like Frank Turek is somebody that I go to. Like, on Cross-Examine, Renown, like, they use books. They don't, like, excerpts from books, right? So, like, obviously, I just don't really give a fuck about the contradiction arguments anymore.
Oh, okay.
They're just kind of boring to me. But I was just curious as to see what you meant by Jesus lied. And, like, obviously, like, if I spent, like, a fucking good hour getting together some shit in context, I could give you a pretty solid argument. However, do I give a fuck about it anymore?
What do you mean, obviously, you could? Why is that obvious?
Well, I know for a fact that... Well, because I could just look at the context. And, like, think about it. Okay, think about it. You have a claim,
if your position is false,
claim.
Could you make a good claim for it? If you're making a claim for a false position, could you, with an hour's prep, make a good argument for it?
Yeah, 100%. If I wanted to. Yeah.
Well, then it's meaningless.
But why would I defend a lie?
Right, like the Bible. Why would you defend the Bible?
No. I mean, but that's an emotional response to what I just said. I get
it's
that,
not.
right?
No, I'm asking you. No.
But the thing is, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain this to you, like, any further. Like, yes, I could come up with rebuttal.
No,
I really could.
No, you can't, because the thing that I said is true, and you cannot rebut truth. Is that right?
Well, I think you've deluded yourself that it is true.
I think you've deluded yourself that it's false. So how could we tell the difference between those two positions?
Context, scripture, and context.
I'm trying to
Wait. Okay, do you know renowned atheists that are, like, renowned for, like, finding contradictions in the Bible? Anyways.
It's not a contradiction in the Bible. Jesus lied. It's proof of Jesus lying.
I don't think you're grasping what I'm trying to say.
And neither are you grasping what I'm trying to say.
I get your position. You're stating that you're stating that in Mark. I think it was Mark 4. You stated that Jesus talked in parables. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell why does he talk in parables.
No, in the Bible it does tell why. No, you completely have misrepresented my position.
But I haven't because I remember what you said.
No, you have, and you're not
literally
said my position at all.
No. The reason why you said that he talks in parables in scripture that's documented is because some people won't get it. It's a way of coding it. And I asked you, I said, why does he talk in a way that people will understand if the whole point is for him to understand, for people to understand the gospel?
The whole point is not for people to understand. That's not correct. Okay,
then what's the whole point?
The whole point is he is the God of the world, and he has to come and die, and everyone has to be saved. He doesn't have to tell anybody.
I don't get why.
That's
what
why
are you talking about?
Them. I'm talking about his behavior. I'm talking about the way he behaved. Did he explain to the people in public his parables?
I don't know if he did.
We do know if he did, because in Mark 4:34 it says explicitly he did not. In Mark, do you agree that in Mark 4:34 it explicitly states he did not explain his parables in public ever? Do you agree that's what that verse means?
Mark 4:9-12.
Mark 4:34.
Okay, repeat what you just said, because
just read the thing, and then I'll ask you what you think it means. Like, are you reading it in your head?
No, I'm reading this fucking whole entire thing with context.
Okay, cool. Read Mark 4:34 and tell me what it means. If you lost your worldview today, would you be okay, or would you have to have suicide prevention help? If you couldn't believe in Jesus after this conversation, would I have to give you some help, or would you have it pretty taken care of?
Blah, blah, blah. Blah. What the fuck?
Do you think it's possible that you might lose your worldview here in this conversation?
Not even, probably, I don't know. You have to give me like actual
like,
like
it seems like you're here in bad faith. Do you agree?
I don't know what that means.
It seems like you don't have an open mind for this conversation, and that if you don't think it's possible,
why do you
that I could
assume so
disaffect
much?
you. I didn't assume. It was because of the answer to my question. I didn't assume anything. I asked you a question and you answered.
No, you did.
And I said,
you literally
it
said,
seems
you
like
said
this,
you are.
that this means
right,
this.
that's assuming. What
No,
the fuck is wrong with you?
No,
chill, bro.
Don't
Don't you want me to give you a decent
that you
answer?
wouldn't be open to having your faith challenge today. That would be the assumption. The other one is reasonable deduction. Then I could reasonably deduce this, right? With these assumptions, I can deduce this. And so I asked you a question to check that assumption, and you gave me an answer. I just don't know where you get the assumption part.
I literally didn't even catch anything you said. I just heard the last word, assumption.
Because you're reading Mark 4, is that right?
No.
So you're
reading
not
the
reading
context.
So
I'm
you're
reading the
not
context
reading Mark 4.
of Mark 4 and Mark 34.
Oh, you're reading
Yes.
what your boyfriend scholars have said about it, so that you don't have to give up your worldview today. Is that right?
Boyfriend scholars?
Yeah, you're going and you're.
You mean people who actually research context and are
I
credible
research
and
context.
universities?
I do that as well. Am I a scholar?
Come from?
Because you're choosing them over me. You're saying these my boyfriends, I shall listen to you, and you I shan't.
Well, wouldn't you rather have a really credible source?
I am really credible. Why do you think I'm not really
credible? You're on Discord. I don't know who the fuck you are. That's why, bro.
You don't
like,
know who the fuck they are. They're just saying they know.
I
what they're talking
know.
about,
You literally
like
just
me.
admitted.
No,
that's
I'm
one
saying
thing about
you
research.
choose them over me
It's
because
really
you
no.
love them and
See,
not
there's
me,
one
and they're
thing.
your
There's one thing.
boyfriends.
I don't love them.
Then why are you choosing them over me?
Credibility.
What's wrong with my credibility?
You're a random person that has literally
I'm not
nothing.
a random
like,
person. I'm a Pastafarian
You
street
are.
preacher. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been helping people give up their myth addictions for a very long time, and now it's your turn. I'm helping you. Are you reading? Is that why you're not talking? Should I keep talking to you? Or
Yes.
Okay.
You can keep talking if you want. Yeah, it's fine. I won't like get a lot of it because I am reading, and like when I read something, I do focus in and tune everything out around me. It's a very good question.
Why did Jesus talk in parables is a very good question.
Yeah, and it's a good contradiction claim. I would agree. This is why I'm very dangerous, because I talk from a very secular point of view. And like you gave me information that I'm not researched on or like read up on for a very long time. And actually don't really give a fuck, right? But it does pique my interest. And now I want to find some answers.
I don't understand how you can say both of those things, because pique my interest sounds like give a fuck. I don't know how you can claim both of those. Are you contradicting yourself just now?
I would agree. Yeah.
Excellent. So you seem to agree when you're doing it and not agree when Jesus is doing it.
And now wait. And now you're taking my bait. Like, bro, just wait. It's gonna be great. I want to give you a really good answer, but I can't. Not yet.
So answer to what? To a question? Answer to a question?
Yes.
And which of my questions are you going to give a good answer to? Which of my questions?
I don't know what you said. I heard answer.
Which question are you answering? Which of my questions are you answering?
You had one question.
And it is?
Why did Jesus speak in parables?
Excellent, excellent.
Blah blah blah. Nothing relevant. Blah blah. Ew.
Ah, fuck. I want this. I want this right here. Give it to me. Yeah. Here's another one. Yeah.
I would agree with this. Blah blah. Blah blah. Exactly. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. What the fuck? Ew. South African. I'm gonna pass. Have you even like looked up why he talked in parables? Like,
I listened to what he said in Mark 4. Yeah, I have looked it up. He says it in Mark 4.
Right. Have you looked up like the context of it?
I've read Mark 4. If that's what you're asking.
Wait. I agree because I just read it too. But like, there's a genuine context to it. And I'm wondering if you know what the general context of the parable speaking is.
Do explain it.
Oh, I told you earlier. It was literally, I think, one of my first fucking responses to you.
But he's quoting an Old Testament prophet.
No, not Isaiah. Not that one. I think that's Isaiah 6, whatever. I forgot the fucking stuff.
Then what are you talking about?
If we know why he spoke in parables, right?
Okay.
Where's the contradiction?
The contradiction is... Okay,
yes.
First of all, I'm claiming there's a contradiction in why he spoke in parables. And you disagree about why he spoke in parables. Do you understand?
Wait. Okay.
You disagree with me about why he spoke in parables. Do you understand?
Okay, well, let's state the stance. All right, what is your stance on why Jesus spoke in parables? Go ahead.
The reason is stated in Mark 4:12. That's my stance.
Which is?
He explains it in Mark 4:12. Which is
what?
Which is subjectively understood differently by you and I.
No, just explain it. I'm recording now. Explain it.
Explain what?
Okay, why did Jesus speak in parables according to Mark 4:34 or Mark 34? I think you said 34. So yeah.
Mark 4:12. Let me think. That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand. That's why.
What does that mean?
I don't know. What does that mean to you?
No, what does it mean? Answer the fucking question.
It means something different subjected to your and
what
my
are you
experience.
Talking about?
You and I disagree about what it means, so you explain what it means.
No, I'm legit asking you because it's your contradiction.
Then this is what it means. No, because you disagree about this contradiction. I've moved on from
No. I want to hear it. Just state it. Just state it.
That seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand.
Which means what?
Which means that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand.
No, what does it mean to you? Speak to me like I'm 5. Okay, maybe 4.
This is the way that it was spoken to me when I was 5.
No, tell me what it means. Like it just
can't mean anything other than this, because then he would have used different words.
Reiterate it.
The only way I can reiterate it is literally the same words.
There's other translations in the Bible. Reiterate that phrase.
But none of them are KJV, and so are incorrect. Would you agree?
Okay, there's the catch. Shut the fuck up.
No, what's your catch? No.
You're literally
I want to move on from this.
I knew it. You literally can't. You can't tell me the context of what that truly means. You just grasped a hold of it and you applied your own fucking interpretation.
And you're going to do that. No, that thing that you're saying that I'm doing, you're doing. and you can't.
I'm
prove
not.
the difference. Yes,
I asked
you
you.
are.
I said reiterate it, and you can't. There's other translations of the Bible. I asked you, what does it actually mean, and you just kept reading it over and over and over again.
And you didn't answer. Do you agree? I asked you the same
I'm
question,
asking
and you didn't answer. Right,
I'm asking you.
And I answered it each time, and now I'm asking you to do it, and you cannot.
That's like the teacher saying, "What's the answer?" And the student raises his hand, and
neither
the
of us are
student goes,
teachers,
"You
right?
answer
We're
it."
both truth seekers, right? Neither of us are
No, it was
teachers.
an analogy.
Is that correct?
I know you don't like analogies. I get that too. But like, come on, man. Like,
I like
I'm
analogies
literally
that are
asking,
intended to illuminate.
what does it mean?
And I am literally asking
What
you
does
the
it mean?
same, and you also are not answering. Do you agree?
No,
and my
you're not
answer
telling
about
me.
something different in either of our minds is the true answer. Now let's move on to John 18:20, shall we?
Now you want to move on, bro.
Because what I'm saying is, to
what
me,
does it mean?
this looks exactly like
you.
a lie. And to you, it does not. So let's move on to one I can
So wait,
prove
now
to
you're
you.
saying it's subjective. Now
I'm
you're saying it's
saying
subjective
your
and not
understanding
objective.
of this is subjective. I'm saying your
Because
understanding of this verse is subjective.
Dude, there
to
is
your
a preponderance
understanding.
of scholars who read these scriptures.
Are they biased
in Greek
scholars?
And in Hebrew.
Are they scholars?
Yes, they're both biased.
Excellent.
You have secular, and then you have Christian. You have Catholic. You have Judaism, right? You have different scholars. You even
Catholic
have
is
Islam people.
Christian.
Right, it's a branch up, but they like, for example, the Catholics believe in like the other books, right? The Christians, or I guess the Protestants don't, and then Judaism, right? Believe that Jesus
No, I
did
know
not take
that.
the
You were
form of
just
flesh.
misusing the word Christian is all I wanted to point out.
Right, whatever. And you're being petty because you have no
As
leverage
are
and you're
you.
failing. And I understand, right? I'm
that's
not.
not why I'm
I'm
being
asking
petty.
you. I'm asking you. You just admitted that scripture,
What
the
are you
scripture
asking
and
me?
the Bible is subjective. And I asked you to
No, your
reiterate it for me, and
understanding
you
of it is
cannot.
subjective. I can. Let me reiterate
Both of
it.
our understandings
That
of it
seeing they
is
may see.
subjective.
That's
However,
my
you can
position.
lean
That's
towards,
what I
no.
said.
You
I
can lean
said
towards
that.
whatever
Do you
scholars
remember when
want.
I said that? You can, if you want to. I lean toward truth. You lean to
haven't read
scholars
any other
that help you-
interpretation.
Why
There was
would
there was nothing. You didn't
Explain to me
reiterate
why I
anything.
would need a third party between me and the Bible. It's just me and the Bible.
Because
I can do it, right?
No,
With just
'cause I
myself
asked
and
you,
the
what does it
Bible. Is
mean?
that correct?
I asked you, what does it mean? I asked you, what it does mean. Don't do a straw man. What does it mean?
It
And you
means
can't
what it
fucking tell
says.
me. You
No, I can,
Just
and
keep
you don't-
re-saying the fucking verse.
I give you 3 separate answers that you don't
I
accept,
literally rest
and I
my
ask
case.
you the
I
question.
literally rest my case.
And what is your case? And
No,
what is
because
your
you
case?
just said it was subjective.
Then why
just
haven't
said
you
it was
rested?
subjective.
You keep moving your case along. So let's move to the
Because
second case.
this
here.
is
Your
actually
case is
funny
rested.
to me.
Is
I'm
that
like,
correct?
you genuinely,
Your
you
case
are
is rested,
genuinely,
or do you not
you're
rest your case?
genuinely like reassuring my fucking amusement right now, and it
No,
is great.
what I'm
and I
trying
love
to
it.
do then is to move on to the next thing where I definitely can get you because there's no subjective interpretations
get
of
me
what's
what?
being said. Get you to confess that Jesus lied. Like I can't
Okay,
get
then I
you to
asked
confess
wait,
right here.
What did he lie about?
First of all, I've
Oh my
been
God.
giving you answers, and now I'm going to the third answer. Okay. First of
You're
all,
fucking-
you asked me
you're
the
fucking
question. What did
retarded.
Jesus? Okay. So now you're. What
You
is that,
are.
ad hominem?
You. Yes, it
So
is an
have
ad
I ad
hominem. It is
hominem
100%
you?
an ad hominem.
And have I
Because
done
you
that
are
to
a
you?
fucking retard.
And have I done that to you?
Yes, you have.
When did I ad hominem you?
Well, you said everything's subjective, and I'm taking this
I'm not.
quote
I'm saying
unquote debate
each
between
of our
both of us as
understandings
hostile.
of these
So
words is
therefore, by
subjective.
your own
I did
fucking
not say
logic,
everything's
I'm
subjective.
saying that you're being hostile toward me. So that's an ad hominem.
Being
There
hostile
you go.
towards someone is an ad hominem.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
great.
right. Yeah.
Awesome.
You hurt me.
Okay, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Let's move on to John 18:20.
You literally can't give
Shall
me
we
another
move on?
interpretation. You can't.
You
literally
can't
just
give me
you
your
literally-
interpretation.
No, because I asked you what does it mean.
You
and
rested
said,
this case,
You basically
is that
said I
correct?
don't
You
know.
rested this
You literally
case, is
said
that
you
right?
literally said I don't know.
Did
You
you
literally
rest
said
this
I don't
case?
know what it is. You
You
literally
don't
said
know
you
what
don't
it
know.
is. I know
Good
what it
one.
is. It's
I
this.
loved it.
Look, did you rest
Yeah,
this case or not? Are we moving on?
Yeah, I'll rest this kid.
John
Let's
18:20.
Let's continue.
The case of John 18:20 and Mark 4:34.
Right.
Cause
right.
that to not be a contradiction. Do that one.
Read it.
Okay, one of them says he says things in
Good
secret.
boy.
The other one says he never says things in secret. Is that right?
Bro, it does not
Is that
say
what
that.
happened?
Hurry up.
Oh, it does.
Hurry up.
It does.
Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it. Read it.
You read it. It's your book of lies.
Bro, why
Which
aren't
book
you
do you
reading
even
it?
use? Because
Are you
I've
scared
already
of
read it.
context?
Because
Are
I've
you
already
scared of
read it, bro.
context? You
John,
haven't.
No, I've read it in this conversation. I feel like.
Why are you so mad, bro? Chill the fuck out.
Are you
it's
mad?
Just conversation.
Are you mad? What do you mean? Why am I so
I
mad? What
just
do
said
you
stop
mean?
being mad.
Are you mad?
Your accent, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't. Are you
So
mad?
are you
want
mad?
some tea, some
Can you
crumpets?
answer this question? My next question to you is: Are you mad?
No, I'm not mad. I'm infuriated. I'm
Excellent.
fuming.
Good. Wow, amazing. So, John 18:20 says what?
That's what I'm asking, bro. You got the fucking scriptures pulled up, bro. What does it say?
And you don't have the scriptures pulled up? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just have. What's up? Like, what is it?
What have you been reading except for the scriptures? What have you pulled up, if not the scriptures?
Nothing. I literally just haven't been looking it up at all.
What? You twice were like, I'm reading something. What have you been reading?
Nothing. At all.
Okay. What's happening here? What are you doing?
Come on, bro. What does it say?
What are you doing right now? What do you think you're doing?
What do I think I'm doing?
Yeah, what do you think
Come
you're
on,
doing?
man. Come on, man. What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're doing something, but I'm not sure if you think you're doing
I dare
what it
you.
looks like you're doing.
I dare you. I dare you to take the bait. Please take the bait.
Tell me about that. Tell me about taking bait and who wins when someone takes the bait. Tell me about baiting.
And I'm very selfish.
So if I also am that, and I'm being amused, then we both win, is that right?
No, we're both winners.
Excellent, great. And who won
But
first?
you're not.
Oh,
But
okay,
you're not.
okay, all right. I'm
You're
not
not
a winner,
baiting.
and you're a winner.
You are not
Keep
baiting.
going.
I am.
I'm not
But
baiting?
you're not baiting.
I'm not? So if
You're
I could
not.
show
I know
you...
you're not.
How do you know I'm not baiting?
Because you haven't baited anything.
Is that right?
You got upset when I threw out an ad hominem.
So
People
what?
who do that
I don't get
aren't
upset.
baiting.
I'm pointing out the ad hominem. I'm
You
not
got
getting
mad,
upset
and then you
about it.
asked me if I was
didn't
mad
get mad.
after I
I'm
said you were
pointing it
mad.
out. What
And
do
then
you mean
you
by
yelled.
mad?
You literally fucking yelled.
Literally
Like you actually got
fucking
mad.
yelled? Have you been yelling?
Now you're repeating
Did
what
you
I'm saying.
literally fucking
You're
yell?
literally repeating what I'm
Just
saying
to see
because
if
you
I
ran out
understand
of
what you're
things to
saying.
say.
No,
And
I haven't
understand.
run out of things to say. I want to talk
Wait, you're
about
trying to
John
understand what
18:20.
I'm saying? Wait, you're trying to
That's
understand what
why
I'm
I'm
saying when I asked you to
restating your thing to make
reiterate
sure.
what you said about Mark, but you won't reiterate that? Even though
Which
you're trying to
part?
find
No,
out what
I'll
I'm
reiterate.
saying?
What do you want me to reiterate about Mark?
When I said explain what it means, and you said no. You
It
explained it.
means when he had finished.
What happened to your
the other
voice? What the
What
fuck was
happened to my
that?
voice?
Louis Armstrong? What the fuck was that?
So
Sorry.
if I baited
I was-
you before you baited me and you took the bait, am I the winner in this conversation and you're the loser? Is that right? If this is a baiting game and I started it, does that make me the winner?
I don't know what you said.
You brought up the idea.
Why are
of
you repeating
baiting.
yourself? I
Is that
obviously
correct?
heard what the fuck you said, and you're literally repeating yourself. You're literally a walking L.
Did you bring up the idea of baiting? Did you bring that up as a way of sort of contextualizing this conversation?
To contextualize the conversation.
Yeah, there's one way we could look at this conversation is two people baiting each other. Is that correct? And
One
you
person
brought up
trolling
that.
somebody.
Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. Look, now let's define trolling. What's trolling?
In my opinion, it's when you take like a stroller, and then like.
So
you
if
have a
I was
baby in
doing that and you were doing that,
Yeah.
and I did it
Yeah.
before you, would that
You
make
had a
me
baby
the winner
and a stroller
in the trolling
before me?
game, or the loser in
Wait,
the
you had a
trolling
baby?
game?
You had a baby in the stroller before me?
Are you here to have a conversation? Is that what you're here to do? A good faith
No.
conversation? Oh,
No.
excellent. And has that
No.
been the case the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you walked in this room to not have a good faith conversation, is that correct?
I don't believe in faith.
Do you understand what I mean when I say good faith conversation? A conversation in good faith, do you understand what I mean by that?
Can you reiterate it for me?
I can. Do you understand it before I do?
No, I don't. So reiterate it. I'll allow it.
So if Jesus lied, though, you couldn't believe that anymore, is that correct? Like, if you saw
If
Jesus lie, you
Jesus
couldn't
lied?
believe... Yeah. If Jesus lied, you couldn't believe... You'd have to give up your worldview today, is that correct? If you noticed him lying?
You're saying that if Jesus lied.
No, I'm not saying, I'm asking.
No, you said if Jesus lied, you would give up your worldview.
I'm asking.
Asking if he did?
There's a difference between asking and saying, right?
Yeah, like rape, and then you have consent. I would agree.
So, if you walk into this room, you're giving consent, is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So if Jesus lied, and a person were
But
a Jesus
to
believer,
an extent,
and they
to an
became
extent, you
aware
can-
of the idea that he lied,
I don't
would they
know
have to
why
give
you're
up
still
their worldview?
talking about this.
I don't know why you're still talking.
Because we're both really big bigots.
Oh, where is your proof of that?
Well, okay. Well, I'll let you guys decide for that. But we're both very bigoted, and we both are hard-headed, and we're both very condescending. I mean, look at your name. Like, it's obviously confrontation, right?
You asked me when we came in, and I explained why.
Right,
It's like,
but you're looking for like someone to contest you.
I'm looking
right?
for a good faith conversation about how we could tell
On
Jesus
Discord.
lied. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Right.
Are you? Is that what you're looking for?
No.
So then you're here in bad faith, is that right?
I don't know what bad faith or good faith means.
Means you're not here to have a conversation about whether or not the thing that I propose is true. And so you've come here in bad faith.
Dude, I don't even believe in Jesus.
Is that right?
Yeah, like I fucked with you this whole time.
And for what end?
Well, it was fun. I'm recording. I'm gonna put this on my personal server. My friends are gonna have a great laugh at this, and
Awesome.
then
Send them over to mine. I'm streaming. I just don't understand why. I just don't understand sort of why you're enjoying this.
well, it's funny to me. I had a great laugh out
Which
of it.
part's funny? Which part's the funny part?
I've been the whole
Can
entire
you explain
thing.
comedy to me? This sort of part of it.
Can I explain comedy? Well, the fact that you're still trying, like you're grasping at shit that's
Can
like
you?
not
Can
there.
you explain the funniness of this to me so that I can understand it? Is
I
comedy
could.
explainable? Could you?
It's
Is
a
that
very
right?
yeah.
You're
You
good
can explain
enough to
comedy.
explain it. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't think that
can.
you understand comedy enough to be able
So
to explain
comedy is something that's
Yeah.
comical, right? And comical
Great, good
is
one.
a
You
form
definitely
of
did
being
it.
funny, right?
Oh, you're
right. And you
definitely
laughed at
doing
that,
it.
and
You
you
are
laughed. No,
explaining it.
no.
Yeah, I laughed at
You
it, but I
laughed
didn't
at
explain
that
it. Yeah.
because it was a funny interpretation. Because it's like saying
Maybe
pain
that's
is
why I
pain.
laughed at it. Maybe I
Yes,
laughed at you.
I literally made you laugh by being
Oh.
sarcastic.
Okay.
That's my comedy.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe your sarcasm is what made me laugh.
You
Maybe you're
literally
But I've
fucking
asked
laughed.
you, can you, with your grown-up big boy words, explain comedy?
Yes.
Excellent. And you haven't yet, is that right?
Well, I don't want to. I want you to. It's a subjective.
Right.
I'm gonna pull at you and say it's subjective. And
Comedy
you're
is
gonna interpret it for me.
comedy is subjective to the viewer. Yeah, you don't think
100%,
that's
we would
true?
agree.
Excellent, great.
We would agree.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
we would
pull on
agree.
me,
Yeah. Now you're catching on, bro. You gotta be quick. We gotta see. We're very condescending people.
What do you mean by condescending?
Exactly. Exactly what I just said. Condescending. Do you not know what that means? When you, like,
I
talk down
want
to
to know
people?
what you believe it means, so that we can
Yeah, it's when you
use
talk
your-
down. It's when you talk down to people.
By what do you mean by down? Like they're dumber than you?
Do I think you're dumber than me?
No. What do you mean by talk down? Do you
No,
mean
I was
like
talking
dumber
about.
than
I
you?
was
No, I'm you a
asking
question.
myself that in my head, and then I said it out loud. So I was gonna talk to myself, and you were talking in the background. So you kind of like interrupted me.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Ah,
You're
you
turning
laughed.
along. You're having
You
it.
literally laughed. You like my comedy. See, we would be great friends.
See, but I don't
However-
think I'm laughing at your jokes. I think I'm laughing at you and your attempts
But
at
that's what
jokes.
somebody
Like,
says.
is that-
That's
is
what
that the
somebody
same as-
says.
No. Is that
when,
the same as
no.
comedy?
You're
Like,
trying to
what do you
cope
think
with the
about-
fact
okay.
that you're laughing at
No,
what I'm
I
saying.
want to talk to you about comedy. Do you
Why?
agree that because
Why?
of I love comedy and I've been a student of comedy my whole life, haven't you? Have you been
No,
a
I
student?
haven't.
Oh, you haven't? You're just coming to it late and well, you're so good at it for such a late comer. Can we talk about?
Wait,
Andy
you're
Kaufman and comedy?
assuming. You're assuming.
I believe
thought
that
you
I
meant-
am responding to your input, and I don't see how that's an assumption.
You're responding to my input.
Yeah, so I don't think how that's
You
an
did
assumption.
assume.
So no, the assumption is before the input. Is that correct? Am I understanding assumption?
No.
So what do you mean when you say what do you mean when you say assumption?
If I have a reaction to someone who looks shady, it is an assumption. I'm being prejudiced, which is a form of assuming.
That's like an example. But what do you mean when you say assumption?
It's like when you assume a preconceived idea about something or someone or a position that they might have without
Right. So
an
if
actual
I'm
basis.
if
of
I'm
what it
asking
truly
a question and then they
is. No,
are
you said I caught on to comedy late because I said I haven't been a
because
student of
I-
comedy.
right. I've
That's
asked
an
you.
assumption.
I'm asked
I just
you
schooled you.
for
I took you to class. Raise
No,
your
no, no.
hand. I'm gonna call on you. Go ahead. Raise your hand.
So you are
So
the
define comedy and define assumption right now. That's your homework.
Okay, good one. You did it. So
Can you switch your name to Comedy Lied?
I can do that. So you're a student of comedy now, is that right?
No, I'm not a student.
You're not a
I
student of
skipped
comedy?
class. Yeah, I'm one of the
Excellent,
cool,
excellent.
edgy people.
Did
I
you
skip
did you
class.
study comedy?
No.
You're not like a comedic autodidact or anything. You're just not a study of
Never
comedy?
heard of that fucking dinosaur in my life. No.
Excellent. Okay. But you are good at it, right? You're good at comedy and you're doing it really well here, right?
Yeah, I'm as good as Amy Schumer.
You're
Oh, you laughed. Are you laughing at me? Or are you laughing at that exact... Bro, it is so easy, bro. It was an honor meeting you. Jesus lied.
Bye.
And
See ya.
I just want you to know.
I hope you continue this conversation at my YouTube.
I just want you to know deep down. It's not going to be on YouTube. Trust me.
Yeah, no, it's streaming now on YouTube. I'm trying to tell you, I've been streaming this the whole time. I've literally been trying to explain things. It was a great. So please come by the YouTube and let's continue the conversation. Dude, literally.
What's your YouTube?
So, it's the Dork Shop. Like, why would you ask me that? Like, what is happening in your head that you would ask me that thing?
Well, you brought up YouTube. Like,
3 times I brought up YouTube, and then the 3rd time you asked me what it is. Like, what's happening in your head? It?
Well, you've asked me, or you've said 3 times that you're streaming, right? I thought you just meant you're recording. Or, like, on Twitch or something.
Yeah, I tried to explain to you 3 times that this is live streaming somewhere. And you finally heard it the 3rd time. And then when you heard it, you're like,
I was like, okay, well, where?
Yeah, when you heard it, you're like, where? And why would I tell you? You're not going to tell me where you're putting it. Like, that's one of your moves is like, oh, I was secretly going to put it somewhere that's none of your business. That was the move that you did back there, right? You did it twice. Is that correct?
Out of here, bro.
That you were, like, cagey about where you're posting this? Is that not... Oh, maybe I assumed that.
No. It's going to... I'll tell you where I'm going to put it. It's going to be on an unlisted video.
I don't want to know. I didn't ask you. I don't want to know, dude. It's on my channel?
Well, you're assuming.
No, I'm pointing out your moves, dude. I'm pointing out your moves and how they're self-contradictory. And how I've been trolling you the whole time, and I baited you into this room, and I won, right? Because now you heard the name of my YouTube, and that's what I've been doing is advertising my YouTube. Like, I don't understand how you're like super like, I got you, bro.
What's wrong with your voice? Are you okay? You gonna cry?
No, I just have.
It's okay. Are you okay? You want some water? Get some water. I'll allow it.
I just have allergies, my man.
That's okay.
Also, dude, I spilled this soda all over my lap. I'm still dealing with that, man. You haven't even given me time to get
It's gonna be okay. Don't worry.
I have allergies, bro.
It's gonna be okay.
So, you don't believe that Jesus saved you from hell, is that right?
I don't believe in anything.
What do you mean by anything?
I don't believe in anything. Like, I don't believe in theories. Like, Big Bang is a theory. It's never been proven. I don't believe in religions. I don't believe in anything. I'm very selfish. I'm a very selfish being. I do everything for my own self-gratification.
So you believe in the self, then?
I believe in myself. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Alright, so not anything.
Well, I wasn't being. I didn't think you were gonna be like pedantic about it, but yeah.
I was literally asking you what you mean by anything. Like that is sort of like, please be pedantic about
it. Okay,
well,
when people like typically ask like, what do you believe in? They normally are referring to religions or like science. Like, do you believe in evolution? Do you believe in religion? Do you believe in blah blah blah? So.
Do you believe in the self? That's one of the things that they can be.
I don't believe in like the whole fucking third eye shit. I don't believe like in the whole third eye shit. Like the whole like, oh, there's something beyond you, like when you're meditating, people who like believe in like that to me is more like believing in yourself. I'm more of like phenomenology, I guess.
Are you talking in good faith now? Like, it seems like you're talking in good faith, and I wish you would stop it.
Well, I stopped the recording, so you're back to me.
Awesome. I've not.
Right, that's
I'm
fine.
still trolling you, and now you're being genuine, so please leave.
Yeah.
You came here to troll, and I was trolling you back, and now that you're being genuine, fuck off.
Alright, man. Yeah, take it easy, man.
See you online.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of views.
Okay, I got more views than you, bro. Alright, so that was fun. You know, trying to figure out what he did not believe. That's fine. Very weird to care about that argument. Very weird to switch halfway through. Not really sure the purpose of that. What is phenomenology? Phenomenology. I don't know. I'm feeling mellow. I think I'll join you there, Brian. He is welcome to chat here. No, that is true. That is true. I just felt uncomfortable when all of a sudden he was talking about his real beliefs after this whole sort of theater, and why would I want to get, you know, why would I want to continue a conversation with someone who I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I'm trying to connect with people in good faith, and they're like, I'm not here in good faith, and I was like, well, all right. Why did that change? Did I do that? Did I change him from bad faith to good faith? Is that a thing that I did? That has been what I'm wondering about. I would like to have talked to him about comedy. He seems to be, though he denies it, a student of of comedy and what is and what isn't. I think that he was at the point where he couldn't fucking elucidate it in words, but could illustrate it, and I think that's fine. But I also think there's a difference between comedy and clownishness. I think there is a difference, and so most of the laughs though were laughing at him and sort of like my inability to believe that he said the thing that he said, not because of the humor inherent into this thing. So I'm not sure that shock is comedy, though, you know, again, I don't know. I think that is what, I think that's more, I'm not sure that Anthony Kaufman was comedic. Like, I'm not sure there's any comedy other than the one punchline. I think it's more parody, I think is what he's doing. Which is not inherently comedic. Anyways, fuck you guys, I'm out of here.